And
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the August 2024 edition of the St. Lawrence County Chamber's Lunch and Learn webinar series. I am Laura Pearson, I almost said Executive Director, Ben, Business
it
Development
works.
Coordinator for the St. Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce. This quarterly educational webinar series made possible through the generous support of St. Lawrence University and Clarkson University, who are leadership circle supporters of the Chamber. I would also like to thank Ben Dixon, Executive Director of the St. Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, for his tech support and assistance during this webinar. Before I introduce today's presenter, I want to run through a few items. First, your mics have been muted and your webcams have been disabled. But if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to type them into the chat window and we will do our best to answer them. Please note that this session is being recorded for the purposes of the St. Lawrence County Chamber and our webinar YouTube channel at STLC Chamber. After the presentations are complete, we will open the floor for any Q&A. We do keep the webinars to under an hour so you can get back to work. If you're interested in presenting or have a topic you would like to see us present, please let me know. I would like to introduce and welcome our presenters, Koby Jordan, Breana Mainville, and Casey Sweeney from the St. Lawrence Lewis BOCES Adult Education and Workforce Development Program. Thank you all for presenting today, and I will turn over the mic to Koby to kick us off. Go ahead, Koby.
Hi, everybody. What I'm going to do is see if we can get to this. I'm going to share my screen and we can get this rolling. Okay. Can you all see that?
Yeah, it looks like Kobe, it looks like it's sort of the presenter view as opposed to just a regular slideshow.
How's that?
Now it's full screen. There you go.
Perfect. All right. We're
Bada
ready to
bang,
kick
you're rocking
things
and
off.
rolling,
That was the
Kobe.
part I was most nervous about, and we're already through it. All right. So my name is Koby Jordan. I work for St. Lawrence Lewis BOCES Adult Education. I'm here with my colleagues, Breana Mainville and Casey Sweeney. I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what we are, what we do. I'll introduce them, and they'll talk about some aspects, and then at the end we can do some questions that people may have. All right. So this is our leadership team. We've got Dave Evans. He's our program manager. He has been kind of driving the ship for adult ed for quite a while now. 20 years he's been in adult ed, or maybe more. And he's done a great job teaching not only myself, but Breana and Casey as well. And we want to welcome on Lori Sheffield to the team. She is not new to BOCES, but she's new to adult ed. She's our new director of adult education, as well as the director of CTE. So welcome on, Lori. So I always get asked, what is adult ed? A lot of times people ask what I do, and I tell them I work for BOCES, and they get a little bit of confused about what adult is, or they may think that we're just a GED service, and that's not the case. I've always had trouble kind of explaining what we do, so we kind of developed this little 30-second elevator pitch real quick. So overall, the driving purpose of our programming is to create a community where every individual has the opportunity to develop essential skills and build meaningful career pathways. And then more specifically, St. Lawrence Lewis BOCES Adult Education and Workforce Development is dedicated to empowering our community through targeted workforce training and development, including instructional offered tailored programs that equip participants with in-demand skills in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and construction trades, ensuring they thrive in today's job market. Through this training, personalized career coaching, and connections with local employers, we're committed to creating sustainable career pathways for every participant. Okay. So here are some of the programs that we offer. We offer a GED classes like I mentioned earlier. So It's literacy instruction that's focused on adult students' ability to pass the GED test. And key subjects include math, science, social, and ELA. We also have a grant through Access VR. That's our vocational rehabilitation grant. And we provide services to individuals in the community that may have disabilities, and that's a barrier to employment. Okay, and we serve them in high schools, colleges, and also just community members, connect them with employment. We also have our occupational training. Breana can probably provide the catalog, our fall 2024 occupational training catalog. And that is kind of our bread and butter. What we've offered to the community is our skills training-based courses. And then we have some grant-based projects as well. All right, so I do want to kind of set the stage with kind of what we are and what we do. And by doing that, I want to share some data with you all. So there's roughly 11,000 people in St. Lawrence County that do not have their high school diploma. And only 24% of people in St. Lawrence County hold a bachelor's degree or higher. All right. And then nationwide, 39% of first-time, full-time bachelor's degree seeking students do not complete their degree program within 8 years. So out of all of the students that we see at our local districts that walk across at graduation and declare for college, 40% of them don't end up finishing within 8 years. So that's an alarming rate. Okay. And that's something that maybe isn't talked about a lot. And we've got people that have student loans and now they don't have a degree and now they need to find work. As a student loan payer myself, I know that can be scary. And then statewide, 1.8 million students dropped out of college in 2023. Okay. So what we are trying to do is offer maybe something a little bit different and kind of bring awareness to this, that there is a need for in-demand skills, traits, and college is a great resource, but it's not for everybody, and we need to use that and spread that awareness too. So what I'm going to do now is open up the floor to Casey Sweeney, and he's going to talk about our GED program.
All right, thank you, Koby. So Koby just gave that stat about 11,000 people in our county without a high school diploma. But there's some other stats that go with that I think help define the why behind our programming, what motivates us to put on these programs. So we know that 19.4% of St. Lawrence County residents currently live in poverty. That is nearly double what the national average is. We know it's kind of one of the big issues that's being tackled from many different angles in our county right now. We also know that 34% of adults without a high school diploma in our county live in poverty. So those without a high school diploma or an equivalent are at a much greater risk of living below the poverty line, while 16% of adults with a high school diploma in our county live below the poverty line. So we know that education is the first step toward reducing your likelihood of being part of that statistic. We also know that the number of citizens in St. Lawrence County without a high school diploma is slightly higher than the national average. So these are sort of correlated, not causation, but it's interesting to see these two data points together. So what we do here is we offer both in-person GED prep classes here in Canton, and we also offer a home study program at no cost to participants. They can pick up and drop off their work, their material. They can come in for tutoring. And that home study program is really important. As you know, we have the largest county in New York, and transportation can often be a barrier to coming in and finishing that degree as well. We also allow our participants here to obtain their GED concurrently with our occupational classes. So someone can come in and, both get that diploma and certifications and other courses at the same time. We also have specialized programs for the St. Lawrence County Correctional Facility that we run. And we are currently developing special programs in coordination with the Department of Social Services. We know both of those communities have additional barriers to both education and employment. So we have those special programs for them. I wanted to kind of dispel some myths about the GED that some people might have. And the first is that obtaining your high school equivalency diploma via the GED exam is not the easy way. I think in the past, there's been some perception that if you've struggled in high school, the easiest thing to do is drop out and just go get your GED. But that is far from the case. The GED can be quite difficult for some to obtain. The cost without our program starts at around $175 just to take the test. It can go to $400 just to get yourself some study materials and some guides. And that price does not include the cost of getting tutors or help with your degree. In our program, both in person and through home study, it can take people a year, 2 years to finally be ready to pass that exam. And if you had to pay out of pocket for that kind of tutoring and help, it would be significantly more than that. The GED test itself is a 7-hour exam in the 4 core subject areas, and you demonstrate equivalent skills in the knowledge base of traditional education. So in one test, you're showing all 4 years of high school that someone was able to obtain in that one 7-hour test. So it's not an easy task. The GED is now recognized by nearly all colleges and universities for admission, but there's still some stigma that lingers around hiring GED recipients versus a traditional diploma for some employers. We think that this needs to go away, this stigma, because GED students have shown that they're highly motivated to work and change their lives in order to overcome all of their circumstances, and those type of people make ideal employees. We also know that obtaining your high school equivalency diploma is just getting people to the starting line. A high school diploma is not enough in today's job market to break through. And so that's why it's really important that we are case managing all of our students and getting them not only through their GED, but also into our occupational classes. We know those other certifications and degrees are going to be important for them moving forward, that the GED is just the starting line.
Okay, I now want to introduce Breana Mainville. She is going to talk a little bit about our occupational classes.
Thank you, Koby. Hello, everyone. I'm Breana Mainville. So I also teach alongside with Koby here at STLC, and we manage a lot of our occupational classes. So one thing that starting off, I wanted to say that BOCES has had a long history of offering occupational courses for almost over 20 years. This has been something in the making. This is one thing that, like Koby mentioned earlier, GED used to be the center stage of what adult ed was. And the occupational classes has really taken a flip of what people think of adult ed BOCES, usually our occupational classes are one of the first things they think of. But moving on, so something along, the lines of our community that has really become a big trend here is the term micro-credentials. And I understand a lot of people don't necessarily understand or really dive into what micro-credentials means. So one thing that I do want to say that STLC has been successfully utilizing and using these trainings for decades, which are pretty much the exact same as what a micro-credential is trying to be. It's just what we're doing in occupational classes is essentially a micro-credential, just with a different label attached to it. But one thing that this does give us in this field is it gives us a deep understanding of what has worked in the past and what doesn't work in the past. And we have a really good understanding of how we can prepare our students for the workforce. So moving on, our programs are designed to meet the specific needs of our local job market, ensuring that our students are not just credentialed, but actually prepared for the jobs available in our community. One thing that I really do hone our skills for is that we have a really good connections with a lot of our local businesses that are attached to a lot of our occupational classes. So we are really out there looking and diving into this local job market and making sure that our classes are in line with what the needs are for our community. Also, our programs are often more affordable than traditional colleges, making them a little bit more accessible and to a broader range of people. A lot of the people that we see that come in here either are scared to take that step to college, or that college is just not their path for them. And that's a lot of the market that we see today of our people. They really want to make a different step in their life, but they're not really to either make that financial commitment to college, which it's a big one, or they really just want to get that certification and start being able to start living a better life for them, their kids, or their family. And sometimes kids are a big holdback of that situation. So they need to have a class that's more accessible with, maybe online or even a shorter class, which that's something that we offer. Also, our students can complete their training and enter the workforce more quickly, along with filling critical job vacancies in our community. One thing I did want to address with our occupational classes, each one of our students that sits in our classes will receive a case manager that will help them get into the workforce, find jobs, apply for jobs, and even work on resumes. Anything that workforce development related, we will sit there and help them with each individual one of our students. And one thing I do want to address too, that yes, all of our classes do have price tags, but almost 90% of our students are funded for occupational classes. We have really, really great partnerships that assist us with funding for classes, just to be able to get these students that really want to make that next step, but are scared or just moving forward. A lot of them, the price tag holds them back. They don't even want to ask, or they don't even want to, they know we have funding, but they kind of almost completely assume that I'm not going to get it. So we try to make that a little bit more of a seamless process. But like I said, we have really good partnerships. We work with that. And it's been a really good seamless way to get these students in classes. So one of our big centers around our occupational classes is our healthcare trainings. So we have phlebotomy technician, EKG technician, certified clinical medical assistant, and healthcare. Each single one of these courses every student will have an opportunity to take the NHA, so the National Healthcare Association certificate at the end. So they will leave with a credentialing certificate at the end to be able to take to these employers and move forward. So the first course that I will talk about is phlebotomy. So phlebotomy has been one of our really big popular, one of our popular classes. We can't seem to not fail this class. It's the one good thing about it, it's not a long class, it's a short class. So people are able to get in and out of it. They're going to be learning the vital skills that are needed to be a phlebotomist. So they're going to teaches venipuncturists, patient interactions, and lab procedures, so they can leave this course knowing how to safely draw blood and effectively draw blood. And they're also going to be able to learn how to interact with patients when they go into the job market. So we're teaching these courses to learn the essential skills, but we're also teaching them how to be effective in the job market that they're going to be going into. So a lot of these jobs, like for phlebotomists, so the offers that we can get for jobs, are at the hospitals, the clinics, or any sort of laboratories. So we work with, in conjunction with like Clax and Hepburn and the St. Lawrence Health. And a lot of our students have gone to both of those places with successful jobs at the end of this course. So another one, our next course for the healthcare is EKG. This has been an up and coming popular class because this is a hybrid class, which this sometimes deters people from, but we've gotten a lot of recent popularity with the class being hybrid because the students have to come into class probably 3 times during this is also another short class. 3 times during those class, the entirety of the class. And the first one's just to do their initial intake paperwork, and the other 2 is to get the hands-on working with the EKG machine. So a lot of this course mainly focuses on monitoring heart health using the EKG machine. That also you are going to go into learning like placing EKG leads, interpreting heart rhythms, and then also again, you're going to learn essential patient care here in the EKG course. Then moving on to CCMA, this has been a big up and coming popularity with this course. This is more of the clinical hands-on side of the medical assistant. So typically when you're walking into that, the outpatient care clinic to go get your exam or your doctor's appointment, typically you are going to be seeing these CCMAs. These are the ones that are going to be taking your blood, doing all your vital signs and whatnot. It used to be an LPN or a nurse, but it's really changed to CCMA medical assistants that can do this now. So they're the ones that are performing all these, preparing the lab specimens, getting patients for examinations, and then they're also going to be assisting with a lot of different office and surgeries and more and stuff like that. It depends on which section of a CCMA you're in, because you can work in all sorts of different departments within the hospital for that CCMA. But one thing I did want to add about the CCMA is a lot of people will stack our courses as well. So the thing with CCMA, some people start with a CCMA, but then realize, well, maybe I want to do phlebotomy, because in our rural area of St. Lawrence County, it's essential for a CCMA it's not essential, but it's really, really high sought after for these employers to get like maybe a phlebotomy certificate or even an EKG certificate along with CCMA, because they're working in those outpatient clinics. So they're not at a hospital. So those CCMAs that can draw blood and can do an EKG machine right at that outpatient clinic, they're very sought after and they're going to be able to have an immense career growth. They're going to be able to go more places. They're going to be able to go to different outpatient clinics. The versatility of those CCMAs having those stacked credentials, there's going to be a lot wider job opportunity, increased employability, and you're ultimately going to get better patient care and better hands-on employees, because each and single one of these classes, they get the experience with patient care and moving forward with that. So we're going to move on to our last course, which we call this healthcare clerical support, but this is the CMAA. So it's going to be the certified medical administrative assistant. So this is the whole administrative side. So this is going to focus on, scheduling, patient records management, and more of the customer service side of healthcare, which this is ideal for a lot of people that we've ran into that want to work in healthcare, but they don't really want to do the phlebotomy, or they don't really want to work with, the patient side. They want to do more of like the administrative side, on the computer, doing that sort of stuff. So this is really, really ideal for people like that. And we've had a lot of people enjoy taking this class. And this class is going to be another one that's going to kind of shift into more of a hybrid course, just so we can get more and more people to be able to take this course. A lot of things that you learn through here, is going to be essential for the administrative side of healthcare. You're going to learn the ins and outs of all those different those patient records management systems, along with, learning parts of insurance and stuff like that. But this is a class that we hadn't always offered, but we just decided to start bringing back. And kind of like I stated before, a lot of most of our healthcare clerical classes, like all 4 of these classes, are, are stackable. This is kind of where I would say, like, you're thinking about your degree path. Well, these 4 courses are the 4 courses you're included into your degree path. Having these 4 courses allows you to be extremely employable. And it just is, even if they don't want to stay in, let's say they're going clinical and they're like, well, maybe I want to go more administrative. I like more the more administrative side. They can go back to that because they already have this qualification or they already have this certification that they've achieved.
All right. Thank you, Breana. I appreciate that. And thank you, Casey, as well. We only have a couple slides left, and I know we want to open up the floor to questions. So the manufacturing and apprenticeship side of what we do, I want to talk about that. And the term apprentice is kind of an interesting term because it means a lot of different things to a lot of different organizations. St. Lawrence Lewis BOCES has been a committed partner with the Department of Labor and local registered apprenticeship sponsors for the past 30 years. Something that we've done well and we want to continue working with the Department of Labor and have more employers become sponsors so that we can train more individuals. So in a world where the local workforce is evolving, we're committed to staying in touch with what employers demand. Go. We have recently updated our apprenticeship curriculum to ensure that we're providing up-to-date instruction for our students. And our next step is to build upon our mission of creating a workforce training center where community members, pre-apprentices, incumbent workers, and registered apprentices can centralize their hands-on manufacturing training through SL BOCES, adult ed, and workforce development. This was once a long-term goal of ours. We're closer to making this a reality. We know the importance of hands-on skills, especially in St. Lawrence County. And I'm very passionate about it, along with Breana, Dave, and Casey as well. And we want to kind of really put our efforts towards making this training center something that St. Lawrence County can be proud of. So. This is something that is new to everybody. This is our CDL training. We know that SUNY Canton has been offering CDL training. It's been a huge success. They've had waiting lists and classes booked up for a while. We know that the demand is there. So we recently purchased a 2024 Peterbilt truck. We're working on getting the trailer so that we can do CDLA training. The official start date is to be determined, but we're going to offer it hopefully this fall. And class will be a little bit different than what SUNY Canton offers. It'll be an online theory instruction that's asynchronous to students, and students can sign up on a rolling basis and also schedule their behind the wheel training basis. There's our price tags there, and we're really excited for this new adventure. It's been a long and tough hurdle for us to go this route, but we know that it's necessary. And I just want to tie everything together from this whole presentation. So adult education and workforce development is a growing department, and we're going to continue to expand our services to our communities. We're very passionate about positively impacting St. Lawrence County. And that's something that we want to continue to build upon, and reaching out, connecting with employers, figuring out what the demand is and what industry wants. There are a lot of great, hardworking people here in the North Country. As a county, we need to work together to provide them with the right resources, training, and instruction to build a workforce that is qualified for what industry demands. I know there's been a lot of talk about bringing people from outside of St. Lawrence County to come into work, and that's great, and I agree, but I don't want the people that are here to be forgotten about either. We have to do a better job at training these people, connecting them with employers, and hopefully St. Lawrence County will thrive. So there's our contact information. Hopefully we're kind of on schedule at the time. I think we are, Laura. Did a decent job there. Thank you, Ben. And yeah, I want to, one last thing before we open up the floor for questions. We are always looking for new instructors for our occupational training. We hire at $40 an hour. If you know anybody, if you have anybody that you think would be a good fit for us, tell them to reach out to us. We can always build our programming based upon the skills of our instructors. So that's one of the toughest hurdles with building programming like this. So yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank Koby, Breana, and Casey for your informative presentation. We will turn off the recording now and open the floor for questions.
Let's let it roll. Let's let the recording roll, Laura. But
Okay.
if people can either raise their hand or throw their questions in the chat.
I have a question for you, Koby. If some of our employers who are looking at this presentation today, if they have something that's not offered at BOCES that they need to have offered, should they reach out to you or Dave to see about getting something on the books?
Absolutely. The worst thing we can say is no, we can't. You know,
Okay.
we'll take any suggestions, ideas, anything really. So yes,
Okay.
absolutely reach out if you have an idea or question about what we could do and what we can offer.
Okay, great. And funding, you will help the students do their application for funding. I believe that's what Breana said, right?
Yeah, so the One Stop Career Center has been a huge help for us. Heather's on the chat here. We're constantly bugging her and Kara Fraser over at One Stop. We send referrals over to them typically first. So if a student calls our center, Michelle here will send a referral over to One Stop. One Stop will send up an interview with the student to see if they qualify for funding. If they don't qualify through One Stop, we look at other avenues, whether that's the St. Lawrence County IDA, Access VR, internal grants that we have. So there's a lot of different avenues. We don't prefer to have our students pay out of pocket. So we work hard for them. Yes.
Thanks. Emily Thacker from Community Health wants to know, how do we as employers help our incumbent employees access funding for occupational classes? We hire medical assistants without training and provide our own, but would be interested in supporting them through completing certification.
We have applied for a couple of grants that hopefully can fix that problem. So I know that there are some limitations on who can be funded and why. I know the One Stop has some limitations based upon income and stuff like that. So if we have incumbent workers, definitely reach out to us and say you're interested, and we'll see what we can do and sort of filtering people in the right direction.
Okay. And Lori Sibley wanted to know what programs are available to St. Lawrence County Correctional Facilities.
So we do offer our GED program at the St. Lawrence County Correctional Facility. We used to do a book club. We want to bring some more programs back. I know the county jail has various programs that are not through St. Lawrence Lewis BOCES, but as of right now, we are doing our GED program along with like a career counseling service where we meet with individuals one-on-one and provide them some guidance for when they are released.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Emily said thank you for the information about funding.
Yes.
I know, Emily, that a few years ago, my sister signed up for the LPN course through BOCES, and she worked at United Helpers, and they paid her tuition, and she had to sign a contract that she would stay with them for 2 years to reimburse them for funding that for her. So that might be something else you might want to look at for your employees. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we used to do LPN training along with CNA training. The CNA training was more recent, and then when the pandemic happened, a lot of the nursing homes did their CNA training
In-house.
centralized in-house, right?
Yeah.
So we have had talks with United Helpers about bringing that training back, but like you were talking about, Laura, it would take some sort of contracted agreement that's for sending incumbent workers our way for us
Yeah.
to do that. Yep.
Any other questions? Excellent. Somebody said, oh, Lori said, excellent programs, great opportunity for people who want to move up the career ladder or begin a new career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're here to help everybody. You know, if somebody needs help with something, we want to be a place where someone can walk through the door and we can guide them in the right direction. That's what we're all about.
Any other questions? You guys can unmute yourself too if you want to speak to Koby or Breana or Casey separately, you know, on your own and not have me translate.
Yeah, or feel free to email us and call us as well. We're very personable. And we love talking about workforce development. We're pretty passionate about just making a difference in our community and seeing what we can do as BOCES as an organization to help a lot of people that I know just need a push in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. It's a great program. Thank you, guys. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to wrap up. If anybody else has anything else they want to add before I do, Lori Sheffield put the Koby's email in there. She's got, and it's on the screen too, Koby Jordan at slboces.org. Breana is Breana.Mainville at slboces.org, and Casey is Casey Sweeney at slboces.org. I will send out the handouts and the YouTube link after we get get the video uploaded to our webinar channel. So I'll make sure to do that for anybody who's on the list, and you can all share it with your employees, your employers. You can do whatever you need to do after it's uploaded. I would like to thank Koby Jordan, Breana Mainville, and Casey Sweeney from BOCES for your time and sharing of your expertise with us today. Thank you all for joining us. I hope this hour was valuable to you and provided useful information on how you or your staff can upgrade their skills. I would also like to thank Clarkson University and St. Lawrence University for their support in sponsoring the webinar series. Follow and like our Facebook page and stay up to date with what's happening in the chamber. If you have a topic you would like to see us present or want to present yourself, please let us know. We encourage you to view our other webinars in the Lunch and Learn series by going to slcchamber.org and clicking Archive Webinars in the right-hand menu. Or go to our YouTube channel, search for St. Lawrence County Chamber or at STLC Chamber. Also, if you know of any businesses that would benefit from membership in the St. Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, please do refer them to us. We can be reached at 315-386-4000 or at info@slcchamber.org. Interested businesses can also learn about our benefits and apply for membership at www.slcchamber.org. Thank you again for having us, for being with us today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we are out.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh.